Okay, it's been a while since I've done a video and I thought I ought to do another one just to give a little bit of an update. A few people are actually watching it now, which is cool. Even got a subscriber the other day. You have to excuse this bit if you trying to see it driving, because I'm not going to drive in this video. I just want to go through a few of the technical things that we've come across and had to overcome. First being the front suspension. We had a really black weekend about a month ago where we needed to lower the car, well, specifically the front end. What we did is, obviously we're not working to any plans or anything like that, it's all in our own heads, so we design as we go along. And what happened was that we'd set the chassis level a little bit foolishly before the engine was in, and then we put the engine in, and obviously there's more weight towards the back of this car with it being mid-engined, and it sat down at the back, and with it having a totally flat underside when it's finished, then we're going to have the issue of potentially the front end lifting and losing steering, etc. So we needed to create a down angle at the front. So what we did is we thought, well, right, we'll basically adjust the shock mounts. You can see where we've refabricated new top shock mounts to lower the whole thing. So we did that, and we're very pleased with those, how they came out, welded them all on. And then what we found was that because the arms are now angled up, and originally they were set to be angled either level or slightly down, we'd actually over-travelled the ball joint there. I forget what these are off, some kind of Vauxhall van, I think, or truck. To get any kind of travel out of the shock, we were over-travelling them in fear of breaking the ball joints. So what we had to do was cut the A-arms along here. See along there where it's all clean metal. Same on the bottom one, same the other side. And actually put sections in, so we bent the arms all the same bend, put sections in, re-welded it all up, and then made sure that it was strong enough, etc. So we've actually created a different angle where the ball joint sits now. It comes up and then down, so we've got an awful lot more travel on the ball joints now. So we think we've sorted that, and as I say, we've got the right attitude on the car now. The other thing we've done since the previous video, we didn't like, previously there was a tube or a box running across this section which basically tied the front chassis together. We didn't like the way that was taking cooling or directing cooling air away from the radiator, so we've chopped that out and made these little brace sections in between. We've got braces all the way through the car, so we figure that should be strong enough. Braking, that's changed. The calipers on the front are Rover 623 front calipers, which are the same as Honda Prelude calipers, etc. And they're running on big, approximately 12-inch vented discs, braided hoses throughout, so that should be pretty good on such a lightweight car. What we'd got, because the back end is basically a recreated Rover 623 suspension, etc. So we'd effectively got Rover 623 discs and calipers, which is good from a braking perspective because we've got big brakes all the way around. In a front engine car, you'd obviously want less braking at the back because you've got less weight at the back, easy to lock the back end up. With us having a mid-engine car with a weight bias heavily towards the back of the middle, if you like, we were okay having the big brakes on the back. Plus we've got the balance bar on the pedals there, which I understand now we've got to take out for the SVA, but that can be put back. Unfortunately, obviously these are a front brake caliper now on the rear, so there's no facility for a handbrake. So what we've had to do, what we were going to do, is to buy some little calipers and run two sets of calipers on the back, fabricate some mounts for the uprights, and put an additional caliper on that purely acts as a handbrake. Then we were around at a friend's house who's got a Skoda Octavia VRS, the turbo one, and which happened to be looking at his calipers, We noted that he's running big vented discs on the back, so the calipers would carry a large vented disc or a wide vented disc, but it also has a nice simple handbrake mechanism. So got on the good old internet, and now we've got Skoda Octavia VRS calipers on the rear, which have the integral handbrake mount. So we'll need to run one set of calipers. The other bonus is that the Skoda items, they're the same as the A3, the Volkswagen R32, etc. So they're good calipers. The other bonus is they're cast alloy, whereas the Rover stroke Honda items on the front are cast iron and are obviously very heavy in comparison. So we actually got, if you like, an additional caliper to make the handbrake work for less weight, which is always good. So then we needed a handbrake mechanism, so we went to a new scrapyard that we'd found, and well, basically we looked for a vehicle without a shroud, a centre tunnel. We got that sorted out, found a Mazda 6, been crashed, quite a new one. I did a bit of haggling, got that out, 15 quid. We had to fabricate the cable carrier, which is this bit here, which is out of stainless steel. Some stick welding, some TIG welding in that. Machined a little button up there. That's all made out of stainless. Used the standard actuator, but we've cut that down, sleeved it so it's appropriate length. And then what we wanted to do is try and use standard handbrake cables so that if they did break, we didn't have to start modifying cables. So we're actually running Mazda 6 handbrake, Golf GTI handbrake cables. We've made our own fittings here to carry the cable tubes. You can see those. That's those little red things with the fittings on the end, and then they mate up to the Volkswagen or Skoda, Audi, whatever you want, rear calipers. And that's all working now. Oh, we've tested that on a hill, that's fine. So we thought everything was going superbly, and then I've got a look at the SVA manual and the lovely tank that we've mounted here, which was going to be screened off from the passenger compartment. I found out that the SVA says you can't have a fuel tank in the passenger compartment, even if it's shrouded in a separate portion of that, which is a bit odd, because I know for a fact that GT40s and GT40 replicas run their tanks in the side pods, which are just as close as ours would have been. In fact, ours is far more protected than a GT40, but there you go. That's the wonders of the SVA and the geniuses who wrote it. Right, so I'm going on a bit now. So we need to think about that tank, so we'll worry about that later. We've got the front end here. That's been considerably reworked, and what I'll do now is I'll just pop the front end on and then just show you how we've got the angle down. We've got the appropriate angle for the car with the modifications we've made.